Hi and welcome to FEC TV. I have a special guest here, but before I introduce him to those of you who don't know him, which won't be too many I'd say, what age are you?
24.
24. Let me tell you now about this 24-year-old. He's done more riding than most 24-year-olds that you'll ever see. But it's a different type of riding. Stuart Edmonds Motocross guru of Ireland.
Well, I wouldn't say guru, but yeah, I've been on a bike since I'm 3 years of age. So.
Were you?
Yeah, pretty much. So I've been doing a lot of riding since then. So
right.
my dad's got me into it. So, and I enjoy the job. I love it.
Sure, sure. Well, before we go any further, we're just going to give you one look at one clip of what kind of bike this man rides and the way he rides it. Here we go. Great stuff. So you were 3 years of age when you started riding a bike?
Yeah, pretty much. My dad used to race when he was younger, so he still does a bit of racing now. To be honest, but
does he?
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he still does bits and pieces, so to enjoy himself. But yeah, he got me into the racing when I was younger, and I pestered him for a bike. So
right,
he gave me a bike. I think it was my 3rd or my 4th birthday, and I've been going on ever since then. He wouldn't let me race for a few years. On average, usually kids nowadays, they'll ride, they get a license when they're 4 or 5 and they'll start racing, but I didn't get out till I was about 9.
Right.
So, only because I pestered them again, so wanted to race all the time. I was sick of watching all my friends going racing. I'd have to sit in the sideline and watch them, so that's how I really got it.
Money comes into it?
Yeah, well, he does shop business with a fella Nick Craig he used to work for, so he was pretty busy with him and then his own racing and stuff, so I suppose when the time was right, he just let me out. He didn't want to let me out too early. He didn't want to push me into it, and
right.
That's the major thing. If you're interested enough, you'll get to do it if you want to do it. So
yeah,
he let me do it on the right time, I suppose.
Right. And what are the highlights of your career so far? Jesus, this sounds fierce funny asking a 24-year-old this.
I don't know. There's been some ups and downs in my career. The major thing is probably setting on my goals when I was younger. I've basically wanted to ride for my country. I wanted to win an Irish Championship, and I've done that numerous amount of times in the youths, and I've done it in 2009. I won the MX1 and the MX2 Irish Championship, so that was really a good goal that I wanted to fulfill. And then my next step was to become professional, and just on 2009 I actually was asked to ride for the country to represent for Ireland, so that was a big thing for me. I loved it, and I went on from there, and the next year I came round I moved to England for 2 years and raced professionally motocross, and I've been going on that's ever since then, 2010. So this year I've been back home doing bits and pieces and riding with Taiko Suzuki, and they gave me a really good deal, and I've been living back up the north near them, so they've been really helpful to me all year, and pushed me all season long. And now next year I've got a new team with Maxus Pico Suzuki with Rob Hooper. He was past GP rider back in 77, 87s, around those days. So he was a GP star before I was even born. So he's got a lot of knowledge on the motocross scene. So it's really good to be with him as well.
Well, let me tell you, first of all, I did a bit of motocross riding myself at a very low level.
All right.
And then my young fellas took it up,
yep,
and they bought bikes, and we were up and down in Vernemount. But I was watching you going around there for years and years, watching you going around Vernemount. And I just, at the time, what was the other lad's name? Brian
Deneen, is it?
Not Brian
O'Connell.
Brian O'Connell.
Yeah.
This would be going back now maybe 5 or 6 years when there was a good duel between the two of you.
Yeah, me and Brian had really good battles. He kept me on my toes.
And then you seemed to just find 2 more gears, and that was it.
I don't know. Brian he's probably my age back then. I was still only young, and I was young and foolish, as they say. But I was learning. Brian, foolish. There's a lot of riders over here. There's like Brian, Ross Brown. There's a lot of riders. Ray Casey, he was another Cork man. They pushed me every time I came down the south and all around Ireland, and they're the riders that what brought me to where I am now. they taught me new things, the tricks of their own that I've learned from watching them and stuff like that. So really it's what I've achieved, what my dad, ma and family has helped me out, and sponsors as well, to the riders that have raced against me all through the years. They've pushed me and got me to the level here as well. Yeah,
and then you took off.
Yeah, well, so I went to Stephen Everett's training school in 2008, I think it was.
Right.
And around then I was only, I wasn't really training. I was misled really for training. I'd go for a 20-minute run and a couple of sit-ups and a couple of press-ups, and I thought I was fit. But went over to Stephen Everett's, and he was like 10 times world champion at this stage, and he just opened my eyes big time. And I stayed with him for 2 weeks, and the week I came back, the next week there was an Ulster Championship, and I won the first round of the Ulster Championship. And at that stage, like last year, I was only running mid-pack, and that's like a big step for me. And from then on, I've upped my training. I've tried training a lot harder, and I just understood what they actually did as world champions, and brought it to the next level, and taught myself that I need to get out on the bike more. I need to go train a lot more and prepare a lot in the winter, which people don't really understand how much preparation you have to do.
Sure, yeah. I went over to Donington Park. Wasn't it Donington Park, the World Championships? Watching it.
That would have been the Motocross of Nations. That was 2009.
Motocross of Nations.
Yeah, that was my first. That was my first year riding the.
Yeah, I went over. Yeah.
That was it was a good year, but as well it was a bad year. We didn't qualify. We'd Gordon Crocker and Martin Barrow, our teammates.
Yeah.
Gordon had a big injury on Sunday morning and the warm-up heat, and he had a concussion, so it was left to me and Martin, and I had a big fall on the first qualifying lap.
But it wasn't a big fall. That's the funny thing about it. Like when you look at that sport, I mean, the big fall is a big fall. It was just on a very tight bend, going slow. You just
it
fell over.
Simple, yeah.
3-mile washout,
and I was gutted, but I've never been.
So was I.
Yeah, I've never been to.
For you,
never been to a race that had like you'd go around every single corner straight. You'd had everybody was cheering you on. You could see British flags, Irish flags, German flags, every other flag you could see. They're all cheering us on. It was unbelievable. But I managed to get up to, I think, 5th or 6th or something like that, and then Martin won it, but we didn't get in.
Geez, just before you fell, what position were you in?
I was dead last.
Before
I fell, I think I was.
You were right up there.
Yeah, I was 8th or 9th. I was a good bit up there. Like,
I was like, we were watching you, and you actually fell right in front of us.
Yeah.
And we were watching, and the next thing you went over, fuck.
it was a brutal. It was.
And it was such a simple fall. You know what I mean?
Well, they're the worst type of falls when you know you could have saved it, and it's quite a simple fall. You don't mind if it was a big fall. You can go right, okay. I can take that on the chin, but a little fall like that, you're kind of going, oh, what are you doing? That was very stupid.
Yeah, but it was great though. It was great. I mean, people don't realise here in Ireland the level that you've got to, you know. And the sport isn't supported the way it should be. I mean, you take anybody, even if they're not into bikes at all, to take a family up to Vernemount or any track in Ireland on a Sunday, what entertainment. It's absolutely fantastic. Yeah,
but basically it's a family day out, is what I've seen, and that's what my dad got me into. It was just, it's a family orientated sport. Like everybody, football, to be honest, I'll be honest with you here, they get paid way too much to fall about a pitch.
What you mean is you don't get paid enough.
Exactly, yeah. But to be honest, it's football. It's their own sport. It's not. It's an individual sport or anything like that. With motocross, it's a family sport. Everyone's there. Everyone is enjoying themselves, and it's everybody talks to everybody, and everyone knows everybody. It's not just you stick your nose in the air and you don't talk to anybody because you race against them or you don't race against them. You come off the bike, you'd have a banter off the bike, and you go back on the bike, and he could be your best friend in front of you, but you still go and give him the elbow and out of the way. And he'd do the exact same to you. But as soon as you come off, take the helmet off, you're back to friends again, and it's back to square one.
From a low level, very low level of motocross racing myself, when I see the likes of you racing, I think, you know what, them fuckers, you know, they have it easy, like, because you know you're only hitting the ground in places, like, I mean, you know, literally when you're going slow, when you can't ride like that, and you hit every bump as a bump, whereas you're just.
That's what I try to aim and telling people for training schools and stuff. It's the faster you go, the easier you make it for yourself. But sometimes it's more mind type of thing and a bit of hand. But I just try to steer the kids and the adults that I train in the right direction. Like simple things like jumping jumps, half jumping jumps. You'd be bouncing and using a lot more energy instead of clearing the whole jump. So as a coach, I've been coaching since I'm 16 years of age, so I've got a lot of knowledge under me, and people still coach me to this day. My trainer, Phil McLaughlin, he still coaches me. My manager from last year, or from this year, Adam Lyons, he still coaches me. Sometimes my dad still gives me some tips if I'm riding, and he'll know by looking at my riding style, because he's watched me for years. If I'm not pushing in the right areas, or I'm riding wrong, or there's something on my mind, he'd be able to tell me, and he'll ask me what's up. So from this day, like, you're still always learning. Every single day to the day you die, you're always learning something new.
Yeah, but gee, like, I didn't pick up a motocross bike till I was about 20, which is way too late. But I mean, it's grand to say take the whole jump, but I mean, if you get it wrong, then you're fucked.
Exactly, yeah. Well, I don't aim to push people in the wrong direction. I give them good advice, and that's the main thing. Like, you get a lot of people that want to push someone over their ability, and that's not right. You just gotta nurture them in the right way, and help them in the right way, and just give them good advice, and then the rest is really up to them if they want to turn the throttle a little bit more to get over the jump.
Exactly. It's
enjoyable training. I love the training.
Yeah?
Yeah, I love to coach.
Well, yeah. Well, you're known as a gentleman anyway, and all the young fellas are mad about you anyway. That's all I know. But my young fella came up with a good question to ask you. A young fella, like, he's about 4 years older than you. But do you race better angry or relaxed?
That is a cool question, actually.
It is.
Sometimes anger comes with mistakes. You can push too hard in the track. They say you should race with a healthy mind and a clear mind, but a lot of the times, if you've got things on your mind, you don't seem to ride as well as you should ride. So relax would probably be the best bet. But you do sometimes need a bit of anger in you to get past people. Like, it's easy to sit behind someone after a couple of laps and stay at their pace, but you could be 10 times the pace of them. But if you're sitting behind someone, having to look at them, and you're just going to fall into their slow pace. So sometimes you do need a bit of aggression behind you, and a bit of teeth grinding.
I've seen you out in Vernon a couple of times where there might have been the best of competition on a day, and you're taking out a 125 instead of a 250, and letting the whole field off for one lap before you, and then going out and making a total shite of them.
Yeah, no, definitely. That was back in the day when I was riding back in Ireland. I always like to keep myself, give myself a challenge, and if I won the first race by 10 or 15 seconds, or even a half a lap or whatever it was, I'd always say, right, I'll give myself them at the start of the race, and then give it hard work for me, so that I'm pushing to the end of the race, instead of getting out in the lead on the first lap and then just staying on the lead and just keeping it there. You're not pushing yourself. So what I always made sure I did was I was always pushing myself. I was always doing something to better myself, and that's what's helped me to get where I am now. As well as when you're going practicing, it's not very good to go practicing on your own. So you try encourage yourself to go out with better riders, or if there's no one there, someone that's close to you and riding, and leave them off ahead of you. Yeah, exactly. Let them off ahead of you, or vice versa. So it's always good to give yourself, keep pushing yourself and giving yourself goals.
What's your favourite track?
In Ireland or UK?
Either.
In the UK, I love Foxhills. It's a really, really good track. It's old school track. It's the hills you wouldn't believe. You'd stand on top of one of the hills, and you'd look down, and it's like 4 or 5 foot buildings, like more maybe, and you're dropping off it. It's a cliff it is. But over here, I just have to say, Des and Martin. Well, I love Vernon Mount. Vernon Mount's really, really good track. The work they've done there the last couple of years is immense, and to change the track to where they got it now is really, really good to what they used to ride.
Is the dip at the bottom, at the back of it, is that gone? Going down into the
two drops coming down the hill, they've completely helped. When's the last time you were up there?
It was a few years ago now. I was living in Spain for a while.
Yeah, they've altered the track last year. They got Johnny Douglas Hamilton to come over, and they've refurbished the whole track completely. The valley's still in there, but
the valley's still in there.
Yeah,
going down.
Yeah, where you go down the big hill. They reversed the track and everything now, so you come up the valley now.
All right. Well, when I used to watch you going down the valley, I used to be so I'd move around the track to
Yeah, get a bit of everything.
Yeah, and I'd watch you going down the valley, and I said, how the fuck does he do that?
Yeah. No, it's definitely it comes with experience, really. You don't get fear when you.
But there's going down something like that. There's no, you cannot stop anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's no point in slowing down. That's your kind of philosophy.
Slow down when you have to slow down. Use your brakes when you really need to use them.
Yeah.
But no, fear doesn't come with the job. If you're riding with fear, and you're going to get hurt, or if you ride under your ability, you're going to get hurt. So you always have to keep yourself pushing. If you ride relaxed, that's when you'll ask majority of the pro riders. half of their injuries is from
relaxing
relaxing too much and saying, I've only got a couple of laps here, I'll just take it easy, and then come around the corner and something happens.
It's stupid.
It's simple like that.
Same thing they say with a chainsaw. You give a fella a chainsaw for the first time, he's so careful that he won't get hurt.
Exactly, yeah.
But the fella that's using a chainsaw all his life is likely to cut his leg off.
Yeah, exactly. Just simple little things. It's the exact same. It's the same rule for everything, really.
Yeah. And come here, what's next for you now?
Today tomorrow I've got a training school in Bournemouth. All the kids come down, so it's nice to get down and see them after not being here the whole year. And then I've got a presentation for the Winter Series with the Munster Motorcycle Club tomorrow night, and then I have to go back up to Dublin to CCM Racing's Christmas opening weekend. They have that every year, season round. And
is it financially working for you now?
I get by. I have a lot of sponsors that really do help me out, but I'm always on the lookout for something big. Basically, what I do is I get by week by week. When it comes to racing season, I get by week. So you have to do well on the weekend.
Big money out of
no, you don't really make big money. An average rider, like a pro rider in the UK, if he's winning, would probably be earning maximum 30,000 sterling before bonuses.
Isn't that absolutely crazy?
Yeah. So
when you look at these footballers, as you say.
Yes, I mean it's not good compared to the likes of football and stuff. So, but you do the sport mainly for the love of the sport.
Maybe you
if
should
you're
bring
not
up
enjoying it.
Motocross football.
Motocross football, yeah, you might actually
you might get money out of it.
Yeah, you might get some money there. Right? Yeah, involve a baller on the track.
Yeah, but come here for a young fella now starting off, to get him to go out racing. A parent looking at this. What kind of money would they need? I mean, you get a bike for what, $3,000, I suppose, roughly?
Yeah, you get a decent bike. People always look for the cheaper option of a bike, but when you're buying a motocross bike, you spend that little bit extra because you'll get a better bike, you'll get better parts and stuff like that, and it'll be less maintenance for you. If you buy an old bike, depends what you're going to do. If you're going to bring your son or daughter even to a track, all you have to do is buy a license, which is around €35, I think, get your medical and stuff, and then just get the kit. You get an average biking kit for about €4,000. Say you give it, and most of the money is in the helmet. Like you spend about €400 on a helmet, and people come to me all the time. Oh, I'm going to buy this helmet here. It's only €100. I turn around and say, well, what do you value your head is? Your head is worth €100. So, and then every single time when I say that, the parent goes, oh, I understand. So you always go for the best option, the safest option of helmets.
And what would it cost to race a bike for the year then, do you reckon? Or a weekend?
I'm not too sure.
Or for a weekend,
for a weekend, you've probably €25 for an entry.
Yeah.
And then you've got, say, a tenner of petrol. And depending on where the track is, you've got, say, €50 of diesel.
Couple of €100, I suppose.
Yeah, a couple of €100 you'll get out for a weekend, and it's an enjoyable weekend.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I hope more people. I mean, I was up in Fernham out there about must be 2 years ago, and looking at yourself and the rest, and I was saying, Jesus Christ, there's only about 50 people here, and there's I don't care whether you're into bikes or not. As I said, the entertainment value of this is absolutely frightening. It's unbelievable.
Definitely, the economic downfall is it's killed the racing,
But it shouldn't kill the spectators, though.
I know, the spectators still come. It's basically weather permitting. You'll see a lot of spectators come on really good days, and they're the best days, really, I suppose. But nobody wants to stand in the rain watching bikes and that. But if you're a bike fanatic or you're any way of petrol head, you'll enjoy it either way, whether it's sun or rain or snow. But
to be honest with you, I'm into bikes and I like bikes, but I wouldn't go out in the rain.
Yeah, no, exactly.
I handle the cold. Yeah, but I mean, the racing is absolutely fantastic. And watching in all these years, and I've seen you walking around the paddocks and all that and whatever, never said hello to you, left you off to do your own thing. But listen, thanks very much for coming in. Really, really appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Thank you for giving me the opportunity.
And keep an eye on this fella, lads. He's like shit off a shovel, the speed he drives a bike at. And we're going to leave you with just one more clip of this man in action. Thanks very much.
Yeah.